more talk. Infowars.com/show. We have the free feed of Right Side on Infowars if you want that. We'll be on after the debate, too. This is the second debate. At Trump, we're going to see what happens.
Thank you very much for being here. We're going to begin with a question from one of the members in our town hall.
There was no handshake.
We'll have 2 minutes
they
to respond
the
to
word
this
got
question.
Out, she didn't do
Clinton,
it.
you won the
Trump
coin toss, so you'll go first. Our first question comes from Patrice Brock. Patrice?
Thank you and good evening. The last presidential debate could have been rated as MA, mature audiences, per TV parental guidelines. Knowing that educators assign viewing the presidential debates as students' homework, do you feel you're modeling appropriate and positive behavior for today's youth?
Well, thank you. Are you a teacher? Yes, I think that's a very good question because I've heard from lots of teachers and parents about some of their concerns about some of the things that are being said and done in this campaign. And I think it is very important for us to make clear to our children that our country really is great because we're good.
Yeah,
and we are going to respect one another, lift each other up. We are going to be looking for ways to celebrate our diversity. And we are going to try to reach out to every boy and girl as well as every adult to bring them in to working on behalf of our country. I have a very positive and optimistic view about what we can do together. That's why the slogan of my campaign is Stronger Together. Because I think if we work together, if we overcome the divisiveness that sometimes sets Americans against one another, and instead we make some big goals, and I've set forth some big goals, getting the economy to work for everyone, not just those at the top, making sure that we have the best education system from preschool through college and making it affordable, and so much else. If we set those goals and we go together to try to achieve them, there's nothing, in my opinion, that America can't do. So that's why I hope that we will come together.
Grunnen til at Trump vil lette skatten for de største, vet du, det for å få de store selskapene tilbake til USA, sånn at det kan lage jobber, vet du, til dem lenger ned. Ikke sant?
What you look like, your religion. I want us to heal our country and bring it together. Because that's, I think, the best way for us to get the future that our children and our grandchildren deserve.
Secretary Clinton, thank you. Mr. Trump, you have 2 minutes.
Well, I actually agree with that. I agree with everything she said. I began this campaign because I was so tired of seeing such foolish things happen to our country. This is a great country. This is a great land. I've gotten to know the people of the country over the last year and a half that I've been doing this as a politician. I cannot believe I'm saying that about myself, but I guess I have been a politician. And my whole concept was to make America great again. When I watch the deals being made, when I watch what's happening with some horrible things like Obamacare, where your health insurance and health care is going up by numbers that are astronomical, 68%, 59%, 71%. And when I look at the Iran deal and how bad a deal it is for us, it's a one-sided transaction where we're giving back $150 billion to a terrorist state, really the number one terrorist state. We've made them a strong country from really a very weak country just 3 years ago. When I look at all of the things that I see and all of the potential that our country has, we have such tremendous potential, whether it's in business and trade, where we're doing so badly. Last year, we had an almost $800 billion trade deficit. In other words, trading with other countries, we had an $800 billion deficit. It's hard to believe, inconceivable. You say, who's making these deals? We're going to make great trade deals. We're going to have a strong border. We're going to bring back law and order. Just today, policeman was shot, 2 killed, and this is happening on a weekly basis. We have to bring back respect to law enforcement. At the same time, we have to take care of people on all sides. We need justice. But I want to do things that haven't been done, including fixing and making our inner cities better for the African-American citizens that are so great, and for the Latinos, Hispanics. And I look forward to doing it. It's called Make America Great Again.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. The question from Patrice was about, are you both modeling positive and appropriate behaviors for today's youth? We've received a lot of questions online, Mr. Trump, about the tape that was released on Friday. So you can imagine, you called what you said locker room banter. You described women without consent grabbing their genitals. That is sexual assault. You brag that you have
This is a rigged debate.
Do you understand that?
Get ready, the gloves
No, I
come
didn't
off.
say that at all. I don't think you understood what was said. This was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I apologize to my family. I apologize to the American people. Certainly I'm not proud of it, but this is locker room talk. You know, when we have a world where you have ISIS chopping off heads, where you have, and frankly, drowning people in steel cages, where you have wars and horrible, horrible sights all over, where you have so many bad things happening. This is like medieval times. We haven't seen anything like this, like carnage all over the world.
Children, I knew this would happen.
And they see. Can you imagine
This is
the
rigged.
people that are frankly doing so well against us with ISIS, and they look at our country and they see what's going on. Yes, I'm very embarrassed by it. I hate it, but it's locker room talk, and it's one of those things. I will knock the hell out of ISIS. We're going to defeat ISIS. ISIS
Du skulle snudd den mot Bill, ikke sant?
that was left because of bad judgment.
Nå kommer han der klysa igjen, vet du, han Anderson, CIA Cooper, ikke sant?
Much bigger things.
Just for the record, though, are you saying that what you said on that bus 11 years ago, that you did not actually kiss women without consent or grope women without consent?
I have great respect for women. Nobody has more respect for women than I do.
So for the record, you're saying you never did that?
Hold kjeften din, han gutten, du.
You hear these things are said, and I was embarrassed by it, but I have tremendous respect for women.
They settled rape cases.
Ja, nettopp.
And I will tell you, no, I have not. And I will tell you that I'm going to make our country safe. We're going to have borders in our country, which we don't have now. People are
And he
pouring
hasn't
into our
settled rape
country,
cases.
and they're coming
You know,
in from
Anderson,
the
you're
Middle East and
CIA.
other places.
All these questions have been
We're
against
going to
me.
make America safe again. We're going to make America great again, but we're going to
I
make
didn't
America
settle
safe
rape
again.
cases.
We're going to make America
I didn't fly on
wealthy again,
Epstein's
because
plane.
if you don't do that, it sounds harsh to say, but we have to build up the wealth of our
Thank you,
nation.
Mr. Trump.
Right now, other nations are taking our jobs and they're taking our wealth.
Thank you, Mr.
And that's
Trump.
what I want to talk
Okay.
about.
Secretary Clinton, do you want to respond?
Well, like everyone else, I've spent a lot of time thinking over the last 48 hours about what we heard and saw.
Now you represent pedophiles.
You know, with prior Republican nominees for president, I disagreed with them on politics, policies, principles,
Like the Bushes you vacation with.
but I never questioned their fitness to serve.
Wow.
Donald Trump is different. I said starting back in June that he was not fit to be president.
If he doesn't attack
Wow.
Trump, he's been
Yeah.
threatened, and it's a stage
And
deal.
many
Nå er han nødt
Republicans and
til å
independents
slå
have said the
tilbake
same
på disse
thing.
folka her, altså.
What we all saw and heard on Friday was Donald talking about women, what he
Oh.
thinks about women, what he does to women.
Hundreds of thousands sexually mutilated.
And he
Your
has
girlfriend
said
promotes.
The
hundreds of
video
thousands of dead
doesn't
Christians.
represent who he is, but I think it's clear to anyone who heard it that it
That Bill Clinton's
represents exactly
settle
who he
rape
is.
cases.
Because we've seen this throughout the campaign.
Trump may stand down. We're not,
We have
lady.
seen him insult women. We've seen him rate women on their appearance,
What about rape
ranking
them?
them from 1 to 10.
What about rape them?
We've seen him embarrass women on TV and on Twitter. We saw
Hva
him
med
after
å,
the
ja,
first debate
nettopp, hva med å
spend nearly a
faktisk
week.
fysisk gjøre da, de heks, sånn som mannen din gjør, vet du. Faktisk ta og voldta dem, hæ? Må du slå
Yes,
tilbake av Trump.
this is who Donald Trump is. But it's not only women, and it's not only this video that raises questions
This
about
country's
his
cursed.
fitness to be our president,
Comes the next thing.
because he has also targeted immigrants, African Americans,
Bullshit.
Latinos,
We can't have a totally
people
open
with
border?
disabilities,
Does Mexico have an open border?
POWs, Muslims, and so many others.
Har du hørt maken
So
til?
this is who Donald Trump is. And the question for us, the question our country must answer, is that this is not who we are.
She wants no borders. She doesn't want us to have a
That's why,
country.
to go back to your question, I want to send a message, we all should, to every boy and girl, and indeed to the entire world,
Oh.
that America already is great, but we are great because we are good.
Oh, we're good. You're
And we
good.
will respect one another. And we will work with one another.
She's so good.
And we will celebrate our diversity.
When she turns your country over to jihadists
These
to
are
kill all the
very
Christians.
important values to me, because this is the America that
When she
I
orders
know and
Benghazi
love.
stand downs, she's good.
I can pledge to you tonight that this is the America
Trump won't stand up.
I
I'll
will
stand up
serve
for
if I'm
America.
so fortunate enough to become your president.
I'm getting really
We want to
concerned.
get to some questions
Well,
from
Ja, dette er
online.
ikke bra, altså, at du er så freakings lam og tam på dette her, altså, Trump. Nå må du
It's just
slå.
words, folks. It's just words. Those words, I've been hearing them for many years. I heard them when they were running for the Senate in New York, where Hillary was going to bring back jobs to upstate New York, and she failed. I've heard them where Hillary is constantly talking about the inner cities of our country, which are a disaster, education-wise, job-wise, safety-wise, in every way possible. I'm going to help the African Americans. I'm going to help the Latinos, Hispanics. I am going to help the inner cities. She's done a terrible job for the African Americans. She wants their vote, and she does nothing, and then she comes back 4 years later.
Ja.
We saw that firsthand when she was the United States Senator.
Freaking,
She
altså, får noe nytt her, jeg gitt noe sammen
Mr.
med
Trump,
møkka om
Mr.
i
Trump,
noen.
I want to get to audience questions and online questions.
So she's allowed to do that, but I'm not allowed to
You're going to get to
Sounds fair.
respond right now.
That sounds fair.
This tape is generating intense interest. In just 48 hours,
Back
it's
to the
become
same
single
thing,
most
Trump.
talked about story of the entire
Attack.
2016
Yeah.
election.
The woman's
on Facebook,
husband
with
is a
millions and millions of people discussing it on
settled rape
social networks.
cases.
As we said a moment ago, we do want to bring in questions
He
from
flies around
voters
with
around
Elite
the country
Express, for
via
heaven's
social
sakes.
media.
God
And our
almighty.
first stays
Literal
on this
pedophile
topic.
palace.
Jeff from Ohio asks on Facebook, Trump says the campaign has changed him. When did that happen? So, Mr. Trump, let me add to that. When you walked off that bus at age 59, were you a different man, or did that behavior continue until
Dette
just
er
recently?
latterligste debatten jeg har hørt så langt.
That was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I am a
Hit her with
person
rape.
who
Ja,
Hit her
nå
with pedophiles.
freaking slå tilbake litt her. Dette er jo helt latterlig, Trump. Dette er et dåset av deg. Hva er det du driver av med, mann?
He did have the rape victims and abuse
look
victims
at,
on before his own
Bill
press
Clinton,
conference. So I'm going to hold back for
minor
now,
words,
Trump.
and his was action. His was what he's done to
Do it
women.
now.
There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women. So you can say any way you want to say it, but Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women.
Nå kommer han.
Attacked them viciously.
Kom igjen, ja,
Four
kom
of
igjen,
them here
ned!
tonight. One of the women, who is
Kom igjen,
a
kom igjen nå!
wonderful woman, at 12 years old, was raped.
Nå, ja, endelig. Takk og pris. Kom igjen nå.
Represented, got him off, and she's seen laughing on 2 separate occasions, laughing at the girl who was raped. Kathy Shelton, that young
Come on,
woman, is here with
Yes.
us tonight.
Boom!
Don't tell me about words. I apologize for those words. But it is things that people say.
Sorry, folkens.
President Clinton did. He was impeached. He lost his license to practice law. He had to pay an $850,000 fine to one of the women, Paula Jones, who's also here tonight. And I will tell you that when Hillary brings up a point like that,
Fin
and she
stamtavle,
talks
va?
about words that I said 11 years ago,
Track record.
I think it's disgraceful, and I think she should be ashamed of herself, if you
Ja,
want to know the truth.
boom! Endelig. Freaking yeah, altså. Yes!
Damn right. I'm turning the mic off now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trump's
Yes.
real.
Well, first, let me start by saying that so much of what he's just said is not right, but he gets to run his campaign any way he
Freaking
chooses. He
blessed.
gets to decide what he wants to talk about.
Bless.
Instead of answering people's questions, talking about our agenda, laying out the plans that we have that we think can make
Og nå er det plutselig
a
greit å
better
prate
life
om
and a better
agenda, men i
country.
stad var det greit å
That's his
prate om
choice.
personer, eller?
When I hear something like that, I
Totryna,
am reminded
fjerne
of what my
skreppet,
friend Michelle
X.
Obama advised us all. When they go low, you go high.
Aha, hvem var det som gikk low først her, da?
And look, if this were just about one video, maybe what he's saying tonight would be understandable. But everyone can draw their own conclusions at this point about whether or not the man in the video or the man on the stage respects women. But he never apologizes for anything to anyone. He never apologized to Mr. and Mrs. Khan, the Gold Star family.
The Gold Star family.
Whose son, Captain Khan, died in the line of duty in Iraq, and Donald insulted and attacked them for weeks over their religion.
You're the one bringing jihadis in.
Ja, det rart da, disse her, mener du disse som står med sånne bare birøkte drakter ved siden av deg når du taler?
It's like the judge Obama appointed that's
He never apologized to the reporter that he mimicked and mocked on national television and our children were watching.
Well, you
and he never apologized for the racist lie that President Obama was not born in the United States of America. He owes the president an apology. He owes our country an apology. And he needs to take responsibility for his actions and his
Frank Marshall Davis, jo.
Your actions.
You owe the president an apology because, as you know very well, your campaign, Sidney Blumenthal, he's another real winner that you have, and he's the one that got this started along with your campaign manager, and they were on television just 2 weeks ago. She was saying exactly that. So you really owe him an apology. You're the one that sent the pictures around your campaign, sent the pictures around with President Obama in a certain garb. That was long before I was ever involved. So you actually owe an apology. Number two, Michelle Obama. I've gotten to see the commercials that they did on you. And I've gotten to see some of the most vicious commercials I've ever seen of Michelle Obama talking about you, Hillary. So you talk about friend. Go back and take a look at those commercials. A race where you lost, fair and square, unlike the Bernie Sanders race where you won, but not fair and square, in my opinion.
Good job.
For who started
and just see what they said about Bernie Sanders and see what Deborah Wasserman Schultz had in mind.
Good job, Trump. You stole that nomination.
Between superdelegates and Deborah Wasserman Schultz, he never had a chance, and I was so surprised to see him
research. You stole
sign on with the devil. But when you talk about apology, I think the one that you should really be apologizing for, and the thing that you should be apologizing for, are the 33,000 emails that you deleted.
Yes.
That you acid washed.
Kom igjen, yes.
And then the 2 boxes of emails and other things last week that were taken from an office and are now missing.
Notice she's sitting down.
Kom igjen, kom igjen.
I didn't
20 minutes in,
this, but
she's sitting on her fat ass.
And I hate to say it, but if I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation, because there's never been so many lies, so much deception.
Se på glasstryna her.
Anything like it. And we're
Gå og
going to
sett deg igjen, Agit. Kanskje du bare bælver snart, du.
The people of this country are furious. In my opinion, the people that have been long-term workers at the FBI are furious. There has never been anything like this where emails and you get
Look
a subpoena.
Look at her, he's standing up to that wedge.
You get a subpoena, and after
she's going to say he's a pedophile tomorrow with her own judge with no name.
And then you
magically he's a pedophile tomorrow, watch.
It's a very expensive process. So we're going to get a special prosecutor, and we're going to look into it, because you know what? People have been... Their lives have been destroyed for doing one
monster woman
of what you've done. And it's a disgrace. And honestly, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Secretary, I want to follow up on that. I'm going to let you talk about emails.
Enig i den. Hun burde skamme seg selv. Hun burde gå og ta en Møllestein-utgaven.
I didn't get rid of any emails. Obamacare is free.
That it would be impossible to be fact-checking Donald all the time. I'd never get to talk about anything I want to do and how we're going to really make lives better for people. So, once again, go to HillaryClinton.com. We have literally Trump. You can fact check him in real time.
Fact check your horse
Last time
hunter.
at the first debate, we had millions of people fact checking, so I expect we'll have millions more fact checking because you know it is. It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you
Secretary.
Ja, nettopp. Haha, yes! Woo!
Good, he's coming through.
We want to remind the audience
Nydelig. Dette liker vi, Trump. Kom igjen. Å, ja.
please do not applaud. You're just
You know, as
wasting
a
time.
major
Har du satt ut på litt nå, Harry?
On emails, you've said your
Freaking
handling of
say
your
off.
emails was a mistake. You disagreed
Spook.
with FBI Director James Comey, calling your handling of classified information, quote,
Spook.
extremely careless. The FBI said that there were
Se på han
110
der typen
classified
der,
emails that
dette
were
folk her skal vi
exchanged,
så
8 of
stole
which
på,
were
hæ?
top secret, and that it was possible hostile actors did gain access to those emails. You don't call that extremely careless?
Well, Martha, first let me say, and
Folks,
I've
spread
said it
this like
before, but
everybody
I'll
know.
repeat it because I want everyone to hear it.
Facebook,
That was a
Twitter,
mistake.
spread the link.
Nei,
And
det var
I
ikke
take
det.
responsibility for using
Or on the
a
YouTube,
personal
spread it,
email
spread it,
account.
spread it.
Obviously, if I were to do it over again, I would not. I'm not making any excuses.
Ha, ha, ha. Nei, hva du gjør ikke det,
And
eller?
I'm very sorry about that. But I think it's also important to point out where there are some misleading accusations from critics and others.
Kritikere, vet du.
After a
Kritikere, du har jo ikke blitt
investigation,
tatt i
there
blank
is
løgn
no
om igjen og om igjen
evidence
nå, jo!
that anyone hacked the server I was using, and there is no evidence that anyone
Lekkasjene kommer fra din egen regjering, for freaking...
has no basis that any classified material ended up in the wrong
For Guds
hands. I
skyld.
take classified materials
Da vet
very
du, hun må
seriously.
mer, hun skreppa her,
And
da.
always have. When I was on the Senate Armed Services Committee, I was privy to a lot of classified material. Obviously, as Secretary of State, I had some of the most important secrets that we possess, such
Which
as
you
going
sold.
after
Ja, du
fraud.
fløy nettopp, du
So I
sløste dem
am
bort.
very committed to taking classified information
Freaking
seriously.
hell, du
And as I
setter hele
said, there
verden
is
i
no
fare.
evidence
It shows
that
you
any
want to ban our
classified
guns with executive orders, but
information
nobody cares. It's
ended up in the wrong hands.
ban our
Okay, we're
guns.
going to move on.
And yet, she didn't know the letter C on a document, right? She didn't even know what that letter meant. You know, it's amazing. I'm watching Hillary go over facts, and she's going after fact after fact, and she's lying again because she said what she did with emails was fine. You think it was fine to delete 33,000 emails? I don't think so. She said
Nettopp,
the
kom igjen.
33,000
Kjør på hardt
emails
nå.
had to do with her daughter's wedding, number one, and a yoga class. Well, maybe we'll give 3 or 4 or 5 or something. 33,000 emails deleted.
Ja.
And now
Det
she's
skjuler
saying
noe.
there wasn't anything wrong.
Vi
And
vet
more
jo hva det
importantly, that was
skjuler, vi
after
har jo
getting
kommet
a
frem
subpoena.
alt
That
mulig
wasn't
rart.
before. That was after. She got it from the United States Congress. And I'll be honest, I am so disappointed
Ja,
in congressmen,
ja, minst,
including
ikke minst.
Republicans, for allowing this to happen. Our
Yeah.
Justice Department, where her husband goes onto the back of an airplane for 39 minutes,
Yeah.
talks to the Attorney General
Wow,
days
kom igjen.
before a ruling is going to be made on her case.
Yes!
But for you to
Få det
say
fram!
that there was nothing wrong with you deleting 39,000 emails, again, you should be ashamed of yourself. What
Yeah.
you did, and this is after getting a subpoena from the United States
We
Congress.
have to move on.
You
Secretary
did that-
Clinton, you can
wait a minute,
respond, and then we
one
got to move on.
We
If
want to
you
give
did
the
that in
audience
private sector,
a
you'd be
chance
put
here.
in jail, let alone after getting a subpoena from the United States
Secretary
Congress.
Clinton, you
Bra,
can respond, then we have
frem.
to move on to an audience
Kjør
question.
igjennom disse moderatorene her, for de er CIA. CIA.
Allow her to respond, please.
Personal emails, not
Over
official.
33,000?
Didn't give
Not,
us
well, we turned over 35,000, so
Oh, yeah.
it was.
What about the other 15,000?
Please allow her to respond. She didn't talk while you talked.
Yes, that's true, I didn't.
Nå begynner det å rakne for Andersen
I'm going to
her.
try not to in this debate
That's
because
right, nothing's
I'd
rigged.
like to get to the questions that the people have brought here tonight.
Begynner å bli rød i trynet nå, begynner å bli varm nå. Skal du kollaps snart da?
Okay, Donald, I know you're into big diversion tonight. Anything to avoid talking
come on,
about your
unnskyld.
campaign and the way it's exploding and the way Republicans are leaving you. But
Let's-
let's
let's-
at least focus
The
on some
Republican
of the
establishment
issues
leaving.
that people
Leave that scum.
care about tonight. Let's get to their questions.
We have a question here from Ken Karpowitz.
Look,
It's a question
let me explain
about
how this works. They got Cooper and
I'd like
Rat
to know, Anderson,
teamed up
why
on
aren't
him.
you
I'm
bringing up
helping
the
Donald,
emails?
okay?
I'd like to know. Why aren't
You
you
can tune into
talking
other stuff.
about
It's just
it?
got
No,
the feed.
It hasn't.
But they're
And
3
it
against
hasn't been
1. It's
finished
2 against
at
3
all.
now.
Ken Karpowitz has a question.
It's nice to 1-on-3.
There you go. Donald,
Yes!
3. Boom, baby.
Known as
2 against 3.
Obamacare.
Yes.
It is not
See?
affordable. Premiums have gone up. Deductibles have gone up.
Kjør på nå. Kjør på med litt realitet her nå.
Prescriptions have
Kom
gone
igjen.
up. And the coverage has
Come
gone down. What will you do to bring the cost down and make coverage better?
Ta bort
That first
Obamacare.
one goes to Secretary Clinton because you started out the last one to the audience.
Yeah, there you go. CIA interrupt.
Nettopp.
Okay,
Der har du dem
go
igjen.
Go
vet
ahead,
du.
Donald.
No, I'm a gentleman, Hillary. Go ahead.
Secretary
Go
Clinton,
ahead, pig. You pig demon.
Well, I think Donald was about to say he's going to solve it by repealing it and getting rid of
the giant screw
the
job
Affordable Care Act.
that increase premiums.
Because I agree with you. Premiums have gotten too high, co-pays, deductibles, prescription drug costs. And I've laid out a series of actions that we can take to try to get those costs down.
Den
But
Obamacare
here's
må
what I
bort.
don't want people to forget. When we're talking about reining in the costs, which has to be the highest
forget
priority
while
of
we're
the next
gang raping you.
president.
We've got a new
When the
solution, even
Affordable Care
worse.
Act passed, it wasn't just that 20 million people got insurance who didn't have it before, but that in and of itself was a good thing. I meet
Sluta
these people all the
ljuga,
time, and
jävlar.
they tell me what a difference having that insurance meant to them and their families.
Och så kost...
But everybody else, the 170 million of us who get health insurance through our employers, got big benefits.
No, it
Number
went up.
one, insurance
It went up
companies
50%,
can't
I'll
deny
buy
you
it.
coverage
No.
because of a
Damn liar.
pre-existing
Du
condition.
ljuger, for den gick
Number
upp.
two, no lifetime limits,
It screws healthy people
which is a
and young
big deal
people
if you
double
have
cost.
serious health
You are a
problems.
pig liar.
Number three, women can't be charged more than men for our health insurance, which is the way it used to be before the Affordable Care
Now
Act.
everybody just gets paid double.
Number four, if you're under
Now men get
26
charged
and
double
your
and so do
parents
women.
have
We're
a
all gang
policy,
raped.
Ja,
you
dette
can
er
be
bare
on
sånn
that policy
flispikkeri,
until
for
the age
dette
of
er
26.
ikke point i hele
Didn't
tatt.
happen before.
I represent
So
pedophiles.
I want very much to save what works and is good about the Affordable Care Act.
Ja,
But we've
ok,
got to
hvis
get
du skal
costs
prate om
down. We've
dette,
got to
så...
provide
Ja, ok, vi venter
some
litt.
additional help to small businesses so that they can afford to provide health insurance. But if we repeal it, as Donald has proposed, and start over again, all of those benefits I just mentioned are lost to
See, once they
everybody.
get you captured,
Not just
you never
people
get out of the system.
who get their health
And
insurance
if the
on
people
the
bitching on YouTube
exchange.
don't want to hear my commentary,
And then
it goes
we
to
would
the
have
right
to
side
start
feed
all
on
over
InfoWars
again.
for you. Quit
Right
bitching,
now
change
we
the
are
channel,
at
dumbass.
90%
This is me with
health
commentary.
insurance coverage. That's the highest we've
You're a
ever
bitch
been
'cause you're
in
a
our
social
country.
justice warrior
So
loser.
I want us to get to 100%, but get costs down and keep quality up.
Mr. Trump, you have 2 minutes.
It is such a great question, and it's maybe the question I get almost more than anything else.
Klart, for det
Outside of
påvirker
defense.
folk, ikke sant?
Obamacare is a disaster.
Ja,
You know it.
Yeah.
We all know it.
ja.
It's going up at numbers that nobody's ever
Go
seen
Mark.
worldwide. Nobody's ever seen numbers like this for healthcare. It's only getting worse. In 17, it implodes by itself. Their method of fixing it is to go back and ask Congress for more money,
Yeah.
more and more money.
Yeah.
We have right now almost 20
Nå
trillion.
begynner med litt verdiskapning her igjen, vet du. Begynner å jobbe litt igjen og bringe litt disiplin inn i nasjonen.
Very bad health insurance. Far too expensive. And not only expensive for the person that has it, unbelievably expensive for our country. It's going to be one of the biggest line items very shortly. We have to repeal it and replace it with
Yes,
something
yes.
absolutely much less expensive.
Ja, få det
And
bort.
something that works, where
Just
your
give
plan
people,
can actually
poor people
tell.
free. It's cheaper.
We have to get rid
Times
of the
five.
lines around the
Here,
state,
poor people, it's
artificial
free.
lines,
Here.
where we stop insurance companies from coming in and competing because they wanted President Obama and whoever was working
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
They want to leave those lines because that gives the insurance companies essentially monopolies.
Nettopp.
We want
Det
competition.
er alltid snakk om det,
You will
folkens
have
monopolisering.
the finest healthcare plan there is. She wants to go to a single-payer plan, which would be a disaster.
Which was always the
Somewhat
plan.
similar to Canada. And if you ever notice, the Canadians, when they need a big operation, when something happens, they come into the United States in many cases because their system is so slow. It's catastrophic in certain ways. But she wants to go to single payer, which means the government basically
Look at Hillary.
rules everything.
A psychopath.
Hillary Clinton has been after this for years. Obamacare was the first step. Obamacare is a total disaster.
Det er et
And
skritt.
not only are your rates going up by numbers that nobody's ever believed,
tar over
but your
nasjonen.
deductibles are going
And
up.
she's gonna
So
run
that
your
unless
healthcare.
you get hit by a truck, you're never going to be able to use it.
Mr. Trump,
It
your
is a
time.
disastrous plan, and it has to be repealed and
Yes,
replaced.
enig i det,
One
enig i det.
follow-up to you. Your husband called Obamacare, quote, the craziest thing in the world, saying that small business owners are getting killed as premiums double, coverage is cut in
It's all
half.
part of screwing
Was
the
he
locals. that
mistaken,
they
or was
vote
his
for her.
mistake simply telling the truth?
No, I mean, he
Okay.
clarified what he
For
meant.
det,
and
for
it's
det
very
er en
clear.
elendig
Look,
plan,
we
så
are
enkelt
in
er det,
a
folkens.
situation-
Ok, jeg tar dette første segmentet her og får opp, for den her var ganske interessant, og han var litt punch igjen, eller kom i hvert fall litt punch etter hvert. For hun kjerringa der, hun ljuger mer enn han prater sant, og Trump tok av seg hanskene til slutt. Det var bare helt glimrende, for hvis ikke han begynner å gjøre det mer, og slå tilbake på disse freaking løgnerne, som drar så svære løgner, at det får trollbinder en hel verden nesten, i hvert fall en halv verden. Men nå er det freaking nok av disse sinnssyke iglene, disse parasittene, og det gjelder her i landet også. Nå er vi lei av sånt noe sentralisert kommunist-crap, hvor alle skal ha det like miserabelt. Ok, segment 1. Hei så lenge.